So what? If knowledge is power, then myself knowledge is self
Go
power.
ahead. Have your moment.
Knowledge moves.
We're just waiting on people to come into the room. Hold on. Who is this? Oh, we got a couple people in the room. We're gonna go ahead and get started. This is things that people don't want to talk about. Brought to you by God Level. That will be me. My name is Renee. I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. I'm actually right here, right now. I am an entrepreneur. I'm a mother. I'm a nurse. I'm a sister. I'm an aunt. I'm a friend. I'm a cousin. I am everything good. John, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Hey y'all, John Nicholson here, aka John Skywalker, the Sly Talker, lyricist, spoken word artist, martial artist, personal trainer, lover of life, student of psychology, and father. So, that track that you guys just heard is from my latest album, Light Benders. Has the producer Andre Black on there. He's the production, he's the engineer. It's a hip hop album, conscious hip hop album, positive hip hop, that old school hip hop, bringing that lyricism to the forefront. If y'all are into that type of energy, something positive, something conscious, plug in John Skywalker. Also, y'all, if you are looking to get your body right, your mind right, trying to get, prepped up for this summer, or shoot, if you just got some long-term fitness goals, you can follow me at master.johnskywalker on my Instagram. Hit me up. Yo, we can work, give you a free consultation, sketch out this plan for you, motivate you, and get you on the right path to self-mastery. Salute.
Salute. We are currently out. My brother is currently out right now having some technical difficulties, but the show must go on. We hope that he'll be able to join us later on in the show once he figure out the bugs that's going on. So before we get started, I want to thank everyone for jumping in on this live. I want to thank all of my new subscribers. I did receive a lot of new subscribers this week. Thank you. Oh, yeah. You know what, John? I'm gonna give you that number. Shout out to Charmaine. She is the lady that's gonna be creating my new. What happened? Did I think I? What did I
Yeah,
just do?
yeah, I don't know.
Okay, there it is. Okay,
Mhm.
we all. When is retrograde over with?
State Highway 43 North.
Can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello.
Yes, we can hear you. We've already introduced ourselves. Go ahead and introduce yourself, brother.
Real quick, King Newborn, Newborn Everything, and I'm on all social media platforms. And I am sorry for the tardiness.
No, you're fine. Call in with comments. The number is going to be posted 832-318-6966. This month, we have dedicated every last one of our podcasts to mental health. The first 2 weeks, we talked about Black men and mental health. The next 2 weeks, we talked about Black women and mental health. And this is Black women and mental health part two. I kind of want to touch on bipolar disorder. Then we also had questions that we posed um, during the week. But before we get started, I just I have something I want to say. I sat down with a guy this past last weekend, and I told him what my diagnosis was, and immediately I was judged. And that right there is the reason why people are suffering in silence because of fear of being judged. But I'm going to tell you this, excuse my language, fuck what they think. When it comes to your mental health, that should be always your number one priority and not what anyone else thinks about you concerning your mental health. Because at the end of the day, you have to take care of you. Ooh, amen.
Chiara, Chi Chi's in the
Thank you,
house.
Tia. That it really bothered me, and I, like You judging me because of my mental illness. And most people that judge people because of their mental illness, I don't know what to say about those folks. But you should never make anyone feel bad about what's going on with them. You really
Sidebar:
shouldn't.
what about young men that get a felony too early? I know it's a whole other thing though, but I'm just looking at the mental health side of that. How that
What
affect that
about what about the young men who get some felony early on, and
correct?
how it
Yeah,
and how it affects them
it affects
mentally?
them later on. It affects them later on mentally for
Hmm.
some. He's trying to create a family. What if he's trying to, just like you just sat down with a man, right? Okay,
Hmm.
road trips. What if it was a man sitting down with you and you was like, "Oh, you got a felony? Oh, no, I can't.
A
That's next
felony
time."
doesn't stop. Well, I'm business oriented, so a felony doesn't stop you from opening up your own business. It all depends on the type of woman that you're talking to.
Hmm.
If a woman is looking for a guy that's working a 9 to 5, that's it. Then of course she's going to sit there and say, "Oh, well, there's nothing much you can do for me." But if you are open minded and you're business oriented, okay, just because you have a felony, that doesn't mean that's the end of your life. You can still open up your own business. It's people out there that are felons that are multimillionaires. They did not allow that title or whatever um, to hinder them.
And
Period.
likewise, yeah. And so it should apply in an ideal society. It should apply that way. And this is what the talk is about. We've been on this concerted effort as a culture to try to kill the stigma of mental illness. There's still a lot of work to be done because, as you indicated, that was just one experience.
That was just one experience
That's
from
just
one
one.
guy who sat across from me and judged me when I told him, yes, I have bipolar disorder. When I'm manic, I am superwoman.
And it's
When
very
I,
telling, right? It's very
yeah,
telling when a guy looks at you and his first response is judgment, not compassion,
ooh,
not asking, so how are you handling that?
right,
Because
right,
that would be my first question. If a woman just all of a sudden opens up to me, like, first off, you were vulnerable enough to just let me know. You didn't have to do that.
yes,
So to let me in, obviously you trust me and you trust yourself. But
right,
the first response that any man should have to a woman who admits that, if done under the right circumstance, like considering the context, but the first response should have been compassion. Either way, it doesn't matter if you're a man or woman. The first response should be compassion. If you're admitting that, if you don't know what to do, y'all, you don't have a mental illness, you don't suffer with that. First question, real easy. How are you managing with that?
right. We have a question from Seal. Does anyone have experience with online counseling? Any recommendations looking to get on top of postpartum depression? When I was in Houston, I went through Texas Behavior Health, and that was during the COVID, and we did online therapy sessions. I did online therapy sessions with my therapist and my psychologist. I had good insurance, so my insurance paid for that, but you set it up at your convenience. When at your pace, go at your own pace. Um, oh, Miss Tanner, I think people fear the unknown. That's why. It's sad that you've been judged. You seem like a great person, Renee. Thank you. People should look beyond that. Thanks. I'm in the Houston area. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
He is over
behavior
there.
health.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shout out to Corey. I see you out there,
Definitely.
bro.
All right. Brother, you don't want
Oh yeah.
anything else?
Also to Seal's point, also, hey, they are doing telehealth through the VA.
Mhm.
I've been doing telehealth through the VA. Shoot, for the past couple of years. For me, it's no different. It's just like this. It's a setting. It's set up just like this. Of course, the VA has their own. They use their own app. They use their own module to deliver the service. But for me, it's the same. But to be fair, I've already had a prior face to face relationship with my counselor. So I meet with him probably like every 3 months just to catch him up on everything. But it used to be on a month to month basis. But it's still effective. I think the most important thing, though, and I can share some recommendations when I get off. There's two therapists that I think, man, they're great, man. Fonz is on point. Fonz is on point. I'm still rocking with him, so I'll recommend Fonz to you, and then yeah, Black Men Heal for you in particular.
Oh, that's what's up. I'm seeing replying to Seal. I do online through my insurance company. I like it. Yes. Yes, you do not even have to leave home. You can do all of this through video.
Right.
Yeah. You don't have to leave home and be in an office, all that paperwork, all that jazz. No,
And be
I
comfortable.
prefer it. Yeah, comfortable in your own home, in your
Hmm.
pajamas.
Hmm.
Yeah, sitting
Yeah.
on the couch, at the
Hmm.
table, wherever you feel comfortable in your home, talking to your therapist, your
Hmm.
psychiatrist, whatever.
You ain't
It's a
got to worry
beautiful.
about traffic.
No, spending gas to go. No, no, they do
Mm.
everything video. Everything video. As a matter of fact, I have to have one coming up. I had to go get some blood drawn.
Mm. Ooh. Yep. Yep.
Ooh. And it's easier to get mental telehealth through the VA than anything else. In fact, the VA recommended me to inpatient treatment. Civilians had to pay.
Wow. That's hard.
Hey,
That's
Dre,
hard. Dre.
how you doing? We're talking about well, ooh, we talked about people judging you, but don't care about that. Don't do you? And someone asked about therapy and online counseling. Yes, definitely. Brother, brother, you have anything you want to add? Okay. Okay. John posted a question. I have to go back to it now. What was the question? Women, what are some ways that you express and maintain your boundaries? And that's when you are coming across someone who can actually trigger you. And when they trigger you, it has you very, very emotional. It'll send you down a um, can I say destructive path? Because when I get emotional, I turn into Tasmanian devil. When I feel attacked, I'm kind of hurting everyone in my vicinity.
Mhm.
Okay. Some of the comments that was left behind. I have never set boundaries before. However, I am learning how to do so. Manage my time and the people I spend it with. Yeah, be careful who you spend your time with. I will say exactly how I feel about the situation. If nothing changes, I cut ties. Make sure I take care of me before anyone else. I can't help, love, or support anyone if I am denying myself those things. I make sure people don't get too comfortable with me, with my yes, because I say no more than I say yes.
Mm. Mhm.
I do
Mhm.
that a lot. That's one of my things. I'm always saying yes. I don't know how to say no, and I need to stop that. Thank you. Who wrote that? I'm gonna have to friend her. Let me go ahead and like that. Hold on. Where is it at? I don't hold back. I don't hold back how I feel to make others comfortable. If I don't like it, don't feel right about it in my spirit, I will express it. I don't hold on to relationships with family or friends that are one sided. And I don't handle or assist situations for people that are not important enough for them to handle themselves. It starts small and eventually they understand. Adjust or get the hell on. I love it. I use
Mhm.
filling statements. Ooh.
Mm.
Somebody put I am the boundary, don't cross me. But seriously, I allow my yeah,
I remember that one. Yeah, I know who that was.
yeah.
Yeah.
But seriously, I allow my energy and my actions to mirror my words. I allow myself enough grace to adjust those boundaries when situations dictate that what's at play is far bigger than how I'm feeling in the moment. Mm. I'm loving these better ways. Keep it going. Oh, I guess these are the questions. I'm very vocal about my inconsistency. What is this? I guess that's what she was trying to say. To push them to get people cut off. If you can't respect my boundaries, then you don't have a place in my life. Too old to keep those people around.
Mm.
Mm. John, you want to go to the second question? Because I'm gonna go look up.
Let's
Because I
see.
still want to talk about bipolar disorder. I still want to talk about bipolar disorder.
Okay. Okay. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Um. Are there any messages about mental health that you wish you would have received at a particular age? If so, what age and what message? All right. Now some of these didn't have any ages assigned to them, but nonetheless, the messages are still there. Um,
Okay.
we have one commenter that says, "Take off. The job slash another job will be there. You might not be if you ignore yourself."
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
okay to not be okay. Take some time and just focus on making yourself happy. Only you. I wish I would have gotten that message around 18 or 19.
Mm.
Another one says, people are important, especially when they have issues and need help, but you are also important, and ignoring that will not end well. Before you can be there for others, do it for yourself. It's not selfish. Awareness and diving into your own feelings and expressing it in writing does help to clarify and see what's really going on.
Mm.
At 21, until you make mental health a priority, you are never going to make progress. I spent years in a vicious cycle of depression and blame that I didn't have to. Unless your mental health is in order, nothing else can be.
Nothing.
Um, Mental barriers are real, not perceived, not imaginary, not a demon, not a result of a lack of faith. Your biggest barrier is you. Embrace and evolve. It should be taught from day one. This one's for at 17. After I had my son, I struggled a bit. I didn't know anything at the time about baby blues or postpartum depression, but at that age,
Mm.
I needed clarity on what I was feeling because I was still a kid myself, but had to take on a task of being a mother when I wasn't prepared at all. So yeah, then that age, that situation. Um, Let's see. Yes, in my teenage years, if I had the adequate education and resources about mental health as I do today, I would have grown up with less damage, and I would have been more ready to marry and settle down. Our behaviors and our mental issues can sometimes ruin relationships and opportunities, but today we have the help to correct what has been ignored and untreated. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and say this. This one's
Go ahead.
Ivy. Ivy been just she just be hitting. I wish I would have learned two things earlier. Hold up. Emotions aren't facts, and yet both should be checked. I'm gonna let that one breathe.
Say it one more time. Say it one more time.
Emotions aren't facts, and yet both should be checked.
Mm.
Whew.
Emotions aren't fact yet. Both should be checked. Where's she at?
She in there.
Trying
She in the
to,
comments. She in the comments.
yeah,
Number
trying.
two,
Go ahead.
real slash effect the real effective way to practice cognitive behavioral therapy. Both would have been game changers from 25 on up. Dang, dang. Yes, that it's okay to share what you are going through outside of the home. First
Yes.
episode. First
We
episode.
talked about that statement. What goes on in the house stays in the house. That is, oh my God, that is detrimental to a child that is being abused growing up in a home. We determined that.
All right.
Mm.
This one's a little bit long. I wish I would have received less indoctrination of the Christian religion. The age is my life up till 25. Our way Our go to was to pray. Something ain't right? Pray. Someone did you wrong? Pray. Something going on at work? Pray. Financial issues? Pray. Health issues? Pray. Relationship issues? Pray. And I'm not saying praying doesn't have its place, it does, but we shouldn't be dependent on magical answers from beyond the sky to solve our issues. We should seek out counsel from our elders and the wise. We should read. Crazy thing is that going through a divorce, I didn't know how I got there. I was blindsided. I began to read hours and hours, everything I could get my hands on. At first, I read about how to fix my marriage. That led me down to a path of understanding the human psyche when it comes to romantic relationships. Once I understood it, I realized where I misstepped in building the foundation and how I showed up in the marriage. Then I understood the timeline of relationships evolve. Then I understood how infidelities happen. Then I let all that shit go.
Mm, tag me in that. Tag. I need to read that. Tag me in
And
that.
that, okay.
Please tag me in that. You got your water, brother?
Right. Not back here, but yeah, I got it.
Okay. All right. Let's mental. Okay. Thank you. Okay. We need to touch on when the change can happen when it comes to mental health. When you, how can I say this, develop a mental illness, whether it's bipolar, PTSD, depression, anxiety. It, for the most part, it all comes from some type of trauma. It can happen to you as a child. It could be emotional. It could be mental. It could be physical. It could be sexual. It could happen to you later on in life. I talked to a young lady at work who was okay, but after she had to perform CPR on her boyfriend, she unchecked trauma. Thank you, Nicole. She developed anxiety. So when it comes to giving CPR, she freezes. I talked to another young lady who developed anxiety after losing a loved one. You know, you can have PTSD from war, you can have PTSD from a car crash. You know, it it's always it's an event, and then sometimes not very. I ain't gonna say not very often. It could be genetics,
Mhm.
just predisposed to it.
Yeah.
For me, I would have to contribute my bipolar disorder to my childhood. I experienced all the physical abuse, all the mental abuse, all the sexual abuse, all the emotional abuse. All my trauma happened to me as a child. That's where it happened to me. And it's been running unchecked for years. Because when I am manic, I am superwoman. I am superwoman. And when I'm depressed, I do not want to be bothered. I'm not going to
Mm.
answer phones. Um, I will lie to you and tell you everything is all right. I will pull it together for work. Then after that, I will come home and get in the bed.
The mask.
That mask, I know how to mask it well. And I'm not going to lie, since I've been on medication, I love it. It's like there's like a even kill. Like I'm not too high, I'm not too low, and I don't want to be a. Who just wrote all of that? John.
That's Amina. That's
Um,
Amina. Yeah.
Amina. Amina, what's the number, Amina? Amina, why don't you just call in, honey? Y'all writing all these long comments, and there is a whole phone line available. The number is 832-318-6966. You ain't got to write all of that. Call us. We could talk about this on the phone. But what was I saying? Oh, medication. Medication wise, I love it. Oh, it says people pleasing and codependency to feel like source of
I
life.
got you. I got you.
Thank you.
So Amina says people pleasing and codependency. Uh, hold on. Oh, she hit send too soon. But she said people pleasing and codependency, the need to feel like you're a source of light and inspiration for others can lead to you being burnt out quickly and being ineffective in your life and in the lives of others. True. You can't please all the people all the time. Eventually, you'll barely be able to show up for others because you aren't able to show up for yourself. And you know what people will do, make you feel worse about being burnt out because you aren't being the you for them that they are used to. They will make you into a villain and play victim because you introduced them to a vibe you couldn't maintain. Ouch. Yikes. The pressure. The pressure.
Okay,
That's
there's another
pressure.
because I accidentally hit send too soon. Reply. Big
Burnout.
facts. Yeah,
Yeah.
Amina, call in, honey, please. Tanner. Ooh, Wait a minute.
Katrina. All right.
Queen Wu-Tang. Ooh.
So Katrina says, "What's normal to the spider is chaos to the fly." Whoo, whoo, whoo. Bar. Some days you are the spider, some days you are the fly, some days the web. So what's normal is really subjective. The hardest part is understanding how much, although you are not the cause of the trauma, you are
That
responsible for finding your homeostasis, taking part in your healing to read and understand on your own self and what you need.
absolutely,
Ooh.
absolutely.
Hey, mom.
Hey, mom.
Peace, 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 man.
Ooh, y'all dropping bars.
Oh,
Y'all
hold
dropping
on. We have a
bars.
call.
Substance. Substance.
This is God level. Who am I speaking with?
This is Amina. Peace and blessings, everyone.
Peace and blessings, everyone. Oh my God. I don't even know where to start. This is
Yeah,
she.
so
Go ahead.
long story short, I didn't want to hit send when I did because I was trying to listen to your story because it sounds so similar to my story with the exception of sexual abuse in my childhood. I did not experience that. Thank God I didn't. And I just want to give love and light to you because to experience those things is very traumatic. I experienced sexual assault 2 times in my adulthood and didn't deal with it. After the second sexual assault that I went through happened the night before Thanksgiving, because I'm that community activist, that person who volunteered and doing things, I literally got up the next morning and went to serve people Thanksgiving meal at the local charity the next morning. Like I never allowed myself to process much of the pain. I've never been allowed to be angry. So I was talking with one of my friends. She and I are both parents. I have a 2-year-old daughter, and her behaviors are they're very much childlike, but at times I have to fight not to take it personal because her behaviors mirror so much of my mom's behavior, and my mom and I have a tumultuous relationship because my mom is bipolar. She's clinically diagnosed as bipolar. She suffers from mania, depression, borderline personality, some paranoid schizophrenic episodes as well. And so I feel like as a result of growing up with a bipolar parent, I'm not sure if I have also inherited that or if my coping mechanisms have shaped me into a person who is very shifty because I always have to be able to read the room, read the situation, and properly adjust and present the type of self that I need to protect myself from whatever version of this other person's self is going to be presented. And so, long story short, I don't know what stability really feels like. So I have been the type of person to self-sabotage, to be inconsistent at times, like I said, where I wanted to be consistent. Wholeheartedly, I have. But sometimes I'm already burnt out from having to perform and do all the other things that I needed to do just to survive. So now when it comes to me being able to fulfill certain obligations at times, I've fallen short. And people have made me out to be a villain, and they victimized themselves and made it seem as if I'm a narcissist. I wanted everything to be about me, and I just didn't show up so that I can undermine whatever situation. That's not what happened.
Right.
That is not at all what happened. I could not show up for you. I haven't been showing up for myself, and that's pretty much what I wish I would have learned earlier is people say love yourself first, but it's hard to love yourself first when the foundation for self-love is supposed to be given to you in your childhood.
There it
Mm.
is.
And so when you
There
have
it is.
questionable
There it
childhood,
is.
experiences that don't provide that foundation for you to build upon self-love, you're starting in a deficit. And people don't understand that. But I do wish beyond just the self-love. So I've learned to love myself, but what I didn't know how to do was self-care.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Self-care and self-love are not the same exact thing. They are complementary, right? You can care for somebody, which is to perform acts and deeds for someone, and you not even love them. You can love someone and not perform the acts and deeds of care for them. And so I have loved myself, but I have not cared for myself because I was so busy taking my care and giving it to other people while thinking as long as I love myself, I can go and be there for other people and care for them because they don't even love themselves enough to care for themselves. So if I got the love down and I can go do the care for somebody else, I scratch their back, they scratch mine.
Ooh.
But long story short, it doesn't work like that. In order for you to be effective in the lives of others, you have to be effective in your own life. And even if you don't have that foundation, it's never too late to start building it, regardless of whether you have to use little pebbles. If it's little pebbles and twigs and things of that nature, you might not have the blocks, the building blocks, like everyone else started out with. But you use what you've been given until you can get something better. And that's pretty much the message that I have learned and the message that I want to share and give. But don't keep trying to show up for other people if you have never tried to show up for yourself.
Absolutely.
Like you're doing yourself a disservice.
You
And it's never too late to learn how to love yourself.
Thank you.
Stop hyper-focusing on what you weren't given. Because
Yeah.
instead of whining and crying and pining for what you weren't given, you're depriving yourself in that process because the energy that you could be given to yourself, actualizing and giving yourself the love that you need, you're at this time undermining yourself because you're hyper focusing on what you don't have, the lack, and that's what you're going to attract more of.
Absolutely.
Ooh.
And I want to hear more of your story. Please continue. I'm about to get off.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for calling in. We really appreciate it. And yes, I will be telling more of my story as the show go on. We did miss a caller, whoever that was, called back. But I want to thank you for calling in and sharing your story with us tonight as well. You made a very good point as far as loving yourself and self-care is two different things. And someone is calling in right now. So let me go ahead and take this call. Thank you again for calling in. All right. All right. This is God Level. Who am I speaking with?
Yes. Hello, my beautiful panel.
I'm sorry. Who am I speaking with?
This is Terry. This is Nicole.
Oh,
I am so happy you guys are speaking.
where are you at? Do I have? Yeah, there it is. Hello, you still there?
Yes, I'm in Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay, go ahead.
This is definitely a topic that is.
She might have to turn her whatever she's watching us on. She might turn it down.
If you're watching, okay, if you're watching us, turn that down. We can kind of hear it in the background, so we can hear you clearly. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Turn it off. It won't go nowhere.
Oh.
Hold on,
Go ahead.
Okay. Here we
All right, go ahead.
Okay. I am so glad you guys have been talking about this. This is truly have been a blessing because it's something that I have been dealing with for quite some time, not knowing what was going on with me. I'm going to say something that might be a little taboo.
Go ahead.
But as women, we have a lot of control on what our children go through. The state that we are in at the time of that we are cooking that baby is the state that your child is going to come into. You can only birth who you are.
Ooh.
So we have to first check ourselves, especially when we are trying to bring in, we're trying to grow our family. We have to check our emotional state at that time because it will carry on. We wonder why we have these certain emotions, we have these certain feelings, More than likely, it's because Mama did too. While she was pregnant with us. We cannot teach what we don't know. So as a parent, if we never knew how to self-care, treat ourselves first, how can we treat our babies then? One.
Yes.
And because they didn't know how to teach us that, we are trying to learn, but the world is going to teach us something else. They're not going to teach you the right thing.
Right.
I learned during these last 4 years, 2017, that was a big year for me. I realized, okay, Terry is not the normal Terry that I know. And the reason why is because I was trying to conform what somebody else told me I was instead of who God told me I was.
Oh.
So in me conforming, I completely lost sight of me, did not recognize me. When I looked in the mirror, I didn't know me. So now that's just like anything that's unfamiliar to you. If you were to go to sleep today and wake up tomorrow somewhere that you weren't the night before, what's going to happen? Hysterics. You're going to go crazy. What in the world? How did I get here? How did I get here? The same thing when you look in the mirror and you have been trying to do everything that other people wanted you to do and neglecting who you are and the things that you needed in order to be mentally sane. Now you have to turn around and figure out who I am. And the older we are, it's going to be a struggle trying to figure that out because now we have babies watching us. Who are watching us? Mind you, you can think we hide. We can't hide from them babies. I know mine. I'll be in the room thinking I'm crying to myself, and they come out the next morning and say, "Mama, I heard you."
Yeah.
So when we think we are hiding, they are feeling as well. They are part of us. So they're feeling it as well. So if we don't learn how to check our emotions, first you have to do a self-evaluation. That's going to be hard. You got to look at yourself because a lot of times when we look at self, it's ugly. Because what we do instead of trying to heal from the things that we've gone through, you have to compartmentalize. You got to shift through this. Okay, this happened. Okay, this happened. Let's put this over here. When you don't do that, it all comes down to you at once, and you have too much things going on in your brain. That now you're confused. It's confusion setting in again. It's gonna keep setting in. So I had to look at myself, which was ugly. And another thing I had to do, I had to forgive those people who hurt me. Because guess what? While they live in their best life, I'm struggling with my mental. They're moving on. They're moving on, and we're stuck in that trauma because we can't let it go because it hurts so deep. You have to let that go, and then you have to forgive yourself as well. I said, I put a text, you have to forgive yourself. Trauma is baggage.
It is.
A plane can't fly if they overload that love.
That's true.
Fly.
Walk right.
We can't grow. We can't take flight to our destiny where we're supposed to be because we are overloaded with things that we choose. This is the word. We choose to hold on to and not let go. And I know people are like, no. It's your choice to keep on to that trauma. Do what you need to do to get past that trauma. If you're still holding on to it, it's no longer at 40 years old. I can no longer blame my parents for what they did.
Yes.
10 and 11.
Yes.
I can't blame them no more. Because how many more years did I have to figure things out? Delete. I'll control, delete people out of my life and move forward. That trauma has shackles on you. And until you can navigate through what happened, that thing is never going to fall off. You can't find the key. You won't find the key because it's very deep in your mental. So we have to look at ourselves. First, we got to find out where the trauma is. A lot of people don't know. I didn't know I was molested at 3 years old. I was told I couldn't have any. I was told I couldn't have any kids. I have 3 beautiful babies now. Then I got raped 3 times in the military. So that had I felt like, oh, I'm just something for somebody to use and throw away. Self-pity. Now I'm self-pitying. Because I'm holding on to somebody else's illness and not discarding it. That's their issue that they have to deal with, that they tried to throw on me with this molestation and this rape and the death of my... All of that. Hurt people don't hurt other people. Until you can remove that hurt from yourself, you are also going to hurt somebody else. Mental illnesses, where you don't want to put this same hurt or trauma or whatever on somebody else, because you are hurt and won't let go. I guarantee you have some people on the list that you need to call and say, I am sorry.
Yeah.
So we have to, it's a self-care that self-care is key. Especially for new mamas, because please understand, when I say I have all 3 of my girls, every mental state that I was in all 3 of my pregnancies, my girls are walking around here right now in that mental state that I was in. So is it their fault?
No.
Or do I need to check me so I don't birth no more hurt?
Wow. I'm sorry, what is your name again?
My name is Terry. Nicole.
Miss Terry.
I'm Nicole. Yes.
Oh, Nicole Terry. Miss Nicole Terry, what was it that made you change? That made you aware that you needed to do some soul searching?
I didn't know. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all a little brief story. John might know a little bit of it. I was married for 14 years. My kids, my girl's father. He decided to leave me for my best friend, who was also my pastor, who was also my prophetess, my marriage counselor, my best friend. She was everything in one. I had already been going through things because the person I was made him uncomfortable. So I tried to change who I was to please him and to keep the drama down in the house where I got 3 girls who are watching me that I don't want them to think that this is normal behavior from someone that says they love you. This is not normal. This is not something I want you to go through. So I have to change that, because all they're going to do is follow in our footsteps, even if they don't want to. The environment you all has control of everything that you do. Racism, kids that are racist, they had to get that from somebody else. They didn't come out and say, "Oh, I don't want that black lady sitting next to me," or "I don't want that." They didn't come out like that. That's a talk thing.
Absolutely.
That's something that they seen, they heard it. So they repeat and regurgitating what they hear and what is around. So the same thing with us. So if I'm showing my daughter that it's okay for, he didn't do this, but for a man to hit you, so she get older, okay, it's okay. I seen mama go through this same thing, so it's normal. No, it's not. It's not normal. So when I was with my whole world changing, after 14 years, my whole world changing, and the things I have already gone through, like I said, I've been molested once, raped 3 times. My first husband was killed 4 days after I got married. So it's a lot of things that I had in my head that I didn't, because in our house, in our black household, mental health is not something that we talk about.
Right.
Go to Jesus. You need to pray. It's not for us to talk about it, because what you speak on reality.
Mm.
What comes out your mouth is what you're gonna live. So if your words are negative, one, you speaking negative out, so negative don't come back.
Right.
You can't plant an apple seed and think you're gonna get an orange.
Mm.
So what you want to come back, that's what you have to throw out. So or have in your surroundings, you have to make sure that is clean as well, or it's gonna leak off on you. So when I realized, I came home and my sister told me, she said, "Tay, I don't know who you are. You need to go back on that plane and bring me my sister back."
Wow.
And I looked at her, and it angered me. I mean, instantly, I was like, "Oh yeah!" I was angry about that. When I'm normally that same one to try to digress or try to change, I'm the peacekeeper, and now the peacekeeper is the hellraiser.
Mm.
Wow.
So I admitted myself. I said, okay. After I went off, did the most, I said, definitely this is not who I am. So I admitted myself, and and I spoke with the doctor, and she told me, she said, "Ain't nothing wrong with you." She said, "Life hits you. And instead of shuffling through the stuff that you need to shuffle through and put it on the shelves that you need to put them on, you chose to leave it as a pile of clothes on the floor that you have to sort out, that you falling over, that you trip over that dirt that we swept under the rug. You tripping over that a couple times because you don't want to get it up. You just hide in the fact that I have this problem." So I sat down for 2 years. Isolation. I isolated myself. And I'm going to tell you, the world's going to tell you that isolation is a bad thing. Guess what? Isolation is the only time that you can hear clearly.
Yes.
In order to make the changes that you need. If it's too busy, how can you hear some of those from the universe, from those, the Holy Spirit, from whatever? How can you hear something that is whispered if you can't be still?
What?
You can't hear.
You are giving
So
me
you
chills.
have to be still, and you have to look at yourself. Okay, self, I really don't like this kind of behavior. I really don't like this kind of behavior. Or I don't like this. But do not allow someone to come in to your space and tell you that you are being bitchy because you have standards.
Yes. Oh my God.
By doing that, you
Boundaries.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, we're listening.
Boundaries.
It's a boundary. It's not me being bitchy. This is what I cannot deal with, especially trying to move through this mental disability that they say I have, because it's not my final destination.
There it
I'm
is.
not gonna be here.
Right.
I'm not gonna be here because I'm gonna work on what I need to work on. I'm gonna find those triggers.
Ooh.
And move that from my life.
Mm.
If you still getting triggered by certain people, that means you allowing these triggers. Because you're allowing these people to continue to come around you when you know they don't trigger you. You can't blame nobody but you.
Right.
You can control your area, your circle, and you only person that can control you is you. I can't blame my reaction on somebody else because I chose to react like that.
Ooh.
Can't nobody make you do nothing. Can't nobody make you do nothing. That's still, at the end of the day, your choice. So what are you choosing to do is you doing it. It's nobody else. Ain't nobody possessed and jumped in your body and told you to do this. Although with what because I have PTSD. With this PTSD, I just had a situation just recently, actually. I allowed somebody to come into my life I knew wasn't good for me, and there's a time frame that I don't remember, and he got hurt. Is that his fault because he did whatever he did, or is it my fault to continue to let something I know wasn't good in my space?
Wow.
So we really have to be careful. No one else is to blame for what we continue to go through. We have to, in order to change, we have to do something different. That's change, right? Doing something different, but you keep letting the same people in. You're still doing the same stuff. So you're not trying to change. And it's going to hurt. Because some of the people that we need to remove out of our life are very close to us.
Yes.
Our mamas, our daddy. Set the boundary. This is the boundary. If you cannot respect my boundary, I'm going to love you from afar. Because if not, I don't want to have to go through nothing that I only have to deal with because of your presence.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot of wisdom.
Yeah, you dropped, as my brother would say, bars throughout this whole everything you've had to say. I'm sure your story right now, who's ever listening to this, has helped someone. I can't even begin to tell you the comments that are coming in just from them listening to you speak. Like they are speaking love.
Yes. And understand, our trials and tribulations ain't nothing but a blueprint for somebody else's freedom. That's why our testimonies are important. Don't let the world make you feel ashamed to something that you went through and came out of.
What?
So somebody else, then you can come out of this too.
Exactly.
Let me show you. I'm going to tell you every emotion that you're going through so you don't think you're crazy. Because then, people like to put crazy on stuff.
Yes.
You're going through an emotion. That means you're not staying in place. You're going through that emotion. I'm going to tell you every emotion that I went through. So when it finally pops up because you're going through the same thing, oh, she told me that. So I'm going to still right.
Yes.
Free somebody else with your testimony. Don't keep nobody in bondage because you let the world tell you that your testimony don't mean nothing, or the trials and tribulations you went through was your fault. Maybe, but guess what? God uses evil for good. So that bad stuff that you went through, He's going to use that to deliver somebody else.
It is. Right now, someone is listening to you and is truly inspired.
Yes.
Truly. This is somebody, I'm sorry, I have to go back to one of the comments. They said that this is a story of resilience. That's wealth of a personal accountability. You are a survivor, a story of resilience. You did that. 2 years of isolation just to focus on you and to figure you out. I'm beautiful messages coming through for all who are listening. The difference between love yourself and self-care, and you resilience, and being strong enough to say that yes, you committed yourself. That's not an easy thing to do. I promise you, it's not an easy thing to do.
No, because you have to admit that something is wrong.
Yes.
Like to do that.
Yes. Oh, trust me, I know.
And
I've been there.
With us.
Oh, I've been there.
We don't want to admit that things are wrong with
we
us.
Don't.
So, yeah.
We don't. We always want to see us as being perfect. You know. So yeah, and I tell people all the time, that's one of the hardest things you can do is look in the mirror and see the truth of who you are.
You have to.
In order to change.
So first you got to get that film that's called pain out of your eyes. It don't let you see clearly. It don't let you see clearly. So in order for you to do that, You first, that's why I say forgiveness. Forgiveness is the key.
Yeah.
That jump starts everything. Because now what they did to you, you done buried it.
Oh, tell me about it.
You done buried it. It's gone. It's not coming back. So now you can move forward with that not keeping you in a place that you don't need to be in. So forgiveness is first. And you have to forgive those who hurt you as well as yourself. And you have to mean it. That's the hardest part. And I did. I played spades with the man who molested me when I was 15.
Oh.
I played spades with you in my partner. I see you living your best life, and I've been stuck for a long time. Now and my kids are better because I am better.
Right. Oh.
I thank y'all so much for this. Thank y'all so
No,
much.
we thank you.
Talk. I missed last week.
We thank you.
God's timing.
Thank you. Man.
God's timing.
Yes, we thank you. Your story, I'm serious when I say this, has inspired someone. Someone is listening to you right now.
Everybody's inspired, right? In the comments.
I know I am.
Everybody's inspired.
Wow.
Yeah. What God had me to do is because if I can help somebody,
that's it.
All I want, because it's time to heal, y'all.
It really is.
It's time to heal. And I'm cooking, and my pot is overflowing. Y'all be blessed. I can jump on and continue to listen to y'all. Okay?
All right. Thank you for calling in. We really appreciate it.
Love y'all. Love y'all. Love you.
Love you too. Woo. Wow. Yeah.
I'm sorry when she said
precisely, Ivy. Yes, that is progress.
You have
That's that overflow.
You have to forgive them, and you have to mean it. The fact that she said she sat there and had spades with that man.
I think the true test of healing is being able to be in the storm again and identify everything that's going on, because at that particular point, you're moving with experience. When you start to heal, you're moving with experience versus you're just going through the process of a damaging trauma, and that's key. She showed, like they said earlier, resilience. She was able to withstand multiple, and they was in different areas of her life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It wasn't congruent. It was just different areas in her life that, I got a situation over here. I was told I can't have children. Now I got 3, and I trusted this new man, and then I just lost a husband and shit. You know, so she was stacking up on experiences to the point that she a master on some real shit. She has mastered her control. If you heard what she said, key was understanding and being isolated. And I can relate to her because when you isolated, you ain't got nobody else to talk to or face but yourself.
Yep.
But yourself.
Oh, Tanner, can we talk about how to emotionally process
healing? Call in. Let's go ahead and address. Call in. Let's address your question. Let's jump back. Let's talk about emotional forgiveness versus intellectual forgiveness. Come on, Ivy.
What was it again?
Yeah. Pull up.
Ivy gonna call. Don't. You know she gonna call. Let me just put it by the mic. She told me I ain't messing with y'all. Let me just put the phone by the mic. Let me just.
I like that message.
Learning.
She said, "Life, learning information from experience," and that's fact.
Great. Go ahead.
But some people don't learn the lessons from their experience. They keep repeating the same thing over and over and over.
And would you say those people are in denial that something is actually wrong?
He froze up. But,
He froze.
Yeah, he froze up. But yeah, to that point.
Yeah, wait a
To
minute.
that point, yes.
They're in
Ivy does
denial.
make.
And I'm only speaking from experience. I had so many people throughout my life tell me, you know, you do this, this, and that. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. I do not act like that. Yes, you do. No, I don't. People are in denial because you want to see yourself as the best version of yourself. You have to get real with yourself. You really do. You know, after you before I guess the destruction of relationships was it for me. They don't know something is wrong. It seems normal. Yeah. 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 I grew up with everything except peace.
Some can't
So
see the cycle. It's hard to reflect and admit you could be what's wrong. You
that's
could be.
true. That is true. People don't want to see themselves as being the problem. It is better to blame. It is better
Our
to say,
ego.
no, you did that.
Our ego.
There it is.
Our ego.
Yeah. But
You know the
when
crazy part about that.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
Crazy part
go
about that part, what you said, John, that ego. As strong as you want your ego to be, you'll start believing your own lie.
Woo!
Your lie.
Hold on, we got a whole call. This guy level, who am I speaking with right now?
No, it's Tanner. I said it was a message.
Yes, Miss Nicole Terry, baby, love you. Love you.
I was sitting over here, like, if you could just, like the mind blown emoji, I'm looking like that, y'all. I'm looking like serious.
We need to.
You know something?
Go ahead.
For what she said, she was saying all this stuff, you know, that they basically teach us, basically saying, like, you have to know self. You have got to know self in order to get to that point where you can start to heal. You got to know what you want first. You got to know what emotional. You have to know what your own emotional status looks like. You got to know what is intrinsic of you, and not repeat that generational. Girl, I just can't. I'm be honest.
You know what? I had to take before medication. I was all over the place. Too high, too low. Overreacting, overthinking, allowing my emotions to dictate my actions because I felt it and I thought it was real because how strong it was. I'm not going to even lie. The medication allows me to be in the middle, to take my emotions and set them to the side and look at things in black and white.
It allows you to actually put things in place because when you're just feeling and your emotion is so raw.
Yes.
Like you can't get past
you can't
that. You can't pass any of that without some type of semblance of myopic thinking. You have to be myopic in your thinking when you are going through emotional health issues.
Yeah.
You have to. And what most of the time we don't allow ourselves to have that, you know what I'm saying? To have that tunnel vision. To look at that stuff. And sister said, I took 2 years. I'm like, I commend you.
Yeah.
I commend you. See? Because, like I told you guys the last time I called in, I took 6 months. I took 6 months out and left my home.
You
Like, if
did.
I don't, I will die.
Yeah.
And I'm dead serious. And it's funny that we're sitting here talking about the medication. The medication, people want to be like, oh, I don't want to be medicated, da 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 da. You don't understand. It's a tool.
It is.
We need tools in order with all the things that we go through. The medication is just one tool.
It is.
Therapy is a tool.
Yes.
Doing trauma therapy is a tool. Doing electromagnetic, what is it called? The cranium therapy.
I know what you're talking about. ECT.
And those parts of tools. Just get the tools that you need.
And that's the tool I need. I'm telling you, I never not want to be on medication. When I started it, my body was so tired because I didn't realize how much stress I had put it under, being up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. It didn't know what to do. Walking down the steps had me shaking because my body was just like, what are we doing? Like finally that middle ground, like I'm not too high, I'm not too low, allowing myself to feel my emotions and then allowing them to release. Like on Mother's Day, oh, okay, I felt that. My mom's not here, I felt that, and then I let it go.
Let me tell y'all something. I am now, I think John knows, when he met me, I was probably in some of the best shape of my life. I was super confident, all of that stuff, right? I am now to the point, and the reason why I advocate for mental health so much, because of the fact that my mental health was so crazy for a good 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. I now have heart issues. I now have autoimmune issues. And Black women, we are some of the sickest women on the planet because of the fact that we let our mental instability to become psychosomatic, and we feel them in our bodies. And this is the reason why Black women have heart issues, and we die early from heart issues.
Yes.
We die early from, they say that diabetes and things of that sort come from just our diet. No, they come from the instability that we feel going through these emotions that we don't know how to process and handle, and they become psychosomatic, and you feel them in your body. And nobody can feel that except for you, because you have to go on that journey to start mentally and to start to heal yourself mentally so you can finally feel it in your body. Baby, remember I told y'all last time about that blood pressure medication that they put me on for my ADHD? That stuff, my cardiologist told me I would have died 6 months ago had they not given me that medication for ADHD. That medicine saved my heart, because my heart has been through every kind of war campaign that you could possibly think of because of all the mental issues that I was going through.
Yes.
I mean, so it's just like, you have to take care of that, especially as Black women. That's why I'm such an advocate.
I am too.
You heal your mind, you heal your body, spirit. Girl, Here you are beyond, girl.
Thank you.
Yes.
Man, me and her talked earlier this week. And she's one, I have a small group of supportive people, and I had to add her to the list. So I won't always be calling my brother Dion or my brother John or bothering Miss Robin or brother Keith. I have a small group of supportive people that I can call on, and she was just added to the list last week. She was like, call me anytime. Call me anytime. I had to talk it out and to work through what I was going through. You have to, and when you're talking it out, you have to talk it out with somebody who's already went through it. Because because if you're talking to someone that doesn't know, they don't know, it's like they can't help you. The question
they can't. They really can't. They cannot help. I mean, they can be sympathetic, but being empathetic and actually being able to feel that. I mean, it's just like And I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't even. Like, seriously, if anybody ever needs me to talk to, I am dead serious. I will put it out in the universe and put my
That's what's up.
Right there. I will talk. Because my mother was bipolar. I have major depressive and anxiety disorder, plus I have PTSD, plus I'm codependent AF. Okay, so I know exactly what my girls are going through. And I'm trying to tell them, please, I'm 45. I should not be in the shape that I am right now. Don't be. Heal it while you can before it hits your body. Please.
Yeah.
Please hit it before it reaches your body.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's major. That is so major. That's the reason why these talks are just so important.
Yeah.
I'm so serious.
We giving somebody hope out there right now. I'm sorry. Somebody is listening to this and someone is inspired. Someone is hopeful. Someone feels like they are not alone right now. Right now, someone is listening to this, and tomorrow, I'm probably going to seek out a therapist, a psychiatrist. Like, hey, something is wrong with me. So somebody's. Go ahead.
Even for us in through it, even for the ones who've been through it, y'all give us life. Y'all give it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all give us life because I heard something on TikTok, and this girl was speaking the truth. She said taking the time to heal the things in your life are always based. It's butted up against what you are willing to not have. And she said saving money will have you feeling broke, while in the other time it's making you rich. She said setting boundaries with people will have you feeling alone. Meanwhile, it's giving you the space to heal yourself. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
That right there, man. So every one of these boundaries that I set up, and honey, I throw them up like a gang sign, like dead. I throw them up. And the reason being is because look at this right now. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't even know how many people right now are listening to this, and they understand what I'm going through, and nobody is judging.
Yes.
And I cut up people who were toxic, who didn't understand how to have that empathetic ear and listen to what I was going through. I am sorry, and I hope you guys don't mind me cussing, but seriously, people who don't understand and people who haven't gone through their life and who haven't gone through their journey yet, they got to figure it out. They got to figure it out. And in the meantime, and when you cross that bridge, come holler at me. And just like Terry said, in the meantime, I'm going to love you from afar. Man, come on, man.
Right.
Come on, man. Ooh. Come on, man. That's it. I'm done. I'm done.
Thank you so much for calling in, sweetie. I will definitely be in touch.
Love you guys. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Beautiful. Dang. The
Somebody
wisdom
is
that's
inspired. Somebody is truly inspired after watching this. I finally
a whole lot of yang going on.
Okay, I have a question that was posted. And I'm gonna go ahead and ask. Do you guys feel supported in your mental health? This is for my ladies. Do you all feel supported in your mental health? And we have like a whole bunch of comments. Oh my God. I don't even know where to begin. I really don't. I'm probably going to say her name wrong. She has wrote all night. You know what, Miss Lady? I need you to pick up the phone now. Amina Abdul.
Yeah, she commented earlier. Or she called. She was the first caller.
Oh, that was the first caller. Oh, I'm so sorry. I finally started therapy 3 weeks ago. I feel so much better, not because I've already made progress in therapy. I've only been to 2 sessions, but the thing that feels best is that I finally thought enough of myself to seek professional help and take my healing to a different level.
Yeah. Congrats.
Go for it, honey.
Congrats.
Someone is reading that comment right now and has made the decision to go to therapy. There is nothing wrong with seeking out help for your mental health, especially if you've been through so much trauma. And trauma is nothing but baggage that you carry. And you carry that shit and you don't know how to get rid of that shit. An 18-wheeler. I have an 18-wheeler behind me. I'm dumping out right now. Oh my God. And I like it. The medication is just a tool. Therapy is just a tool. I never not want to be on medication. I don't want to feel that way ever again, where my emotions was dictating my every move. That's another reason why I'm at home. I'm taking a trip down memory lane. Like when you're manic, you can be manic for weeks and months at a time. You make impulse decisions. You go without sleep. You feel like Superwoman or Superman. Oh my God. Brother, you want to add anything?
I'm just saying yin and yang. If you look at all of it,
Balance.
well, that part too. But in order to have balance, you have to take in a respectful accountability of it all. So until you acknowledge, like something just ain't right, till you acknowledge that okay, in life I'm having a lot of different experiences, but even though with these experiences I'm continuing to say they to blame, they to blame, they to blame. But like
Mm-hmm.
the young man said though, you're an adult now. So
Mm.
as being an adult, we fight hard to hurry up and grow up and become an adult. We don't acknowledge the fact that it's my responsibility as an adult, my decisions, my choices, and my executions. That don't fall on us. So when you do take accountability or isolate a situation, or you decide to utilize some of the tools that you come across, like like you said, medication, talking amongst your peers, or finding somebody that has been through a trauma as well as yourself. You, like I say, you taking the best of both worlds, the destructive and the creative, and you put it together. But again, you're making that decision to know thyself and be like, I need some help, because I can't do it alone. I can't do it by
Right.
myself, And I want to say something about earlier the young lady. Can't remember who it was though, but she was talking about others. A lot that you go through uh, during those 9 months of carrying a baby, from a cellular level, a DNA level, everything that you encounter is passed on to that child. That's scientific.
Epigenetics.
Yeah, that's scientific
Epigenetics.
proof. You you can't escape that. So whatever experience you're going through is constant shock to the baby. Constant shock to the baby.
Mm.
And that's like she said, you just passing down more trauma. That's what I ask you. Don't work as much. Lower your stress levels. Watch what you eat. Try to enjoy what you are experiencing as a mother that's about to conceive a child. And most women don't. Still be working 10, 12 hours, still fighting at home or getting beat at home, going through verbal abuse with a family. That's another one. Somebody you
Yeah.
claim that you love because we're family, you're getting verbal abuse from them. And that's a trauma within itself. And you just walk around with all this, and the only place you unloading is this child. You dropping it all off on
Mm.
this.
You know what? That brings me to something. I went to work Friday, um, and a girl came to work. She's a CNA, and I don't know if anyone out there in the healthcare field, but they know what a CNA is, a certified nursing assistant. So they're doing the bulk of the work as far as getting people up, putting them to bed. They're feeding, they're doing showers. But this young lady walked in. She was 8 months pregnant, and I looked at her. I said, "Honey, you supposed to be at home with your feet up." And it just hurt me to see her in there. Like, you should be relaxing. I just was like, oh wow. So you're doing all of this. I said, your baby gonna come out hitting the ground running. Like,
What they always say,
she
you be quick to say that my child has been here before. Nah,
got,
Mm.
you have unpacked a lot of trauma on your child. So it's picking up
yes,
Mm.
on
yeah, yeah.
conversation, music. It's a lot of stuff that's just being transferred. You're nothing more than a vessel, a congruent for that baby. And you gotta
Hmm.
take that serious, man. That's it, man.
Looking at the sample, just a sample of the responses to the question, it seems that women aren't not only unsupported in their mental health, but not even protected.
No, we get the crazy. Oh, she crazy. She crazy.
Man,
That's what we get attached.
hold on,
Crazy.
John. Hold on, John. You,
That's
John.
that's what happens. Oh no no no.
Start it, John.
Oh no 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 no. Okay. Did I add one out?
I'm
Okay. No, I hope I didn't. I need to stay away from over here on this
That's a
chat.
big doorway, John.
Yeah,
That's a
but we're
big
not going.
doorway.
No.
We're not going to talk about the men over here. It's just the experience. We're not doing that. We're not crossing
That's
that
a
line.
huge,
We're not doing. Yeah,
that's a huge
yeah.
Let me do
doorway.
We're not
that.
doing that part.
There we go. You know
Oh, wait
what?
a minute.
Let's.
What's
Oh,
happening?
but
That's. Can you still see me?
There you go. Yeah, now the comments will
Woo.
post up.
Okay.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Now the comments will post up because I
That way everybody can see what we
Yeah,
reading.
yeah.
that's cool.
And I just made it real big on my computer. So yeah, it looks
Ivy's
good.
comment right there.
Yeah,
Ivy
yeah, there
said
goes
she
J
feels
Love.
supported.
Woo! J Love, thank you for your comment, honey. You know what? Let's can we address that love yourself and self-care? Because I didn't grow up learning how to love myself. I wasn't taught how to love
Oh, none
myself.
of us was.
Yeah, that is something that we had to learn as we got older. But the way she broke it down, that love yourself and self-care is two different things. Ooh, honey. I love her. Whoever she was. I can't remember her name.
Amina, that's
John,
Amina.
would you say
We need to be friends on Facebook.
would you say self-care is a product of loving yourself?
Yeah, I mean, so that's the action part. You know,
That's
the
what,
care,
yeah,
the self
right,
care.
that part. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the action part.
Mm.
Yeah. So, but just looking at the overall theme here. So, a lot of women are growing up already not having the tools to take care of themselves, and
Ooh.
yet they're expected to take care of their families. They're expected to take care of their offspring.
Yeah.
So here we are in this system because we're talking about environment here, and they're in an environment that says you're responsible already, and yet at the same time there's no collaborative effort. You're not giving the women, you're not giving the females the tools to perform the functions that you already have impressed upon them. You have to do this, you have to do this, you have to be this way. All these messages being passed down to women, and then at the same time they're experiencing abuse, neglect, right? Not to any fault of their own, and then having to rise to the occasion, not having the tools but also having to overcome that and still perform the functions. What kind of pressure, what kind of tension does that put on a woman's mind? Environment has a lot to do with women's mental health. Environment. So that's why
Mm.
I asked that question. And again, I'm just identifying a theme. You have to put yourself in the environment. And it's hard because you don't even know what the environment's supposed to look like in the first place.
One
So,
second.
mhm.
This is God Level. Who am I speaking with?
This is Amina again.
Yeah.
I love you. Love yourself and self-care, honey. I'm gonna be stuck on that for a while. Like you just like I don't know.
Woo.
You did something right there.
Mhm.
Go.
That's my baby.
It's okay.
Look, I'm so glad that resonates with other people because I started realizing within my own life, but as I started to observe others, I started realizing there's this toxic promotion of self care where people are starting to think that in order for women tapping into their femininity, they have to get their nails done, they have to get their hair done. And when we say get their hair done, we don't mean actually taking care of their actual hair. A lot of them are just masking their hair. They're not actually taking care of their actual self. They're just masking themselves. So you'll see them go and get lots of coverings, right? Hair coverings, toenail coverings, polish, and things of that nature. Makeup covering over their actual skin. So their actual skin care regimen is not on point, right?
Yeah.
They're not actually trying to get healthy in terms of eating nutritious foods and things of that nature so that we have the fuel for our body. What they'll do is they'll take a lot of dietary supplements or go and get a BBL or mommy makeover so that they have an exterior that presents as if it has
counsel.
And that's because properly loving ourselves and the foundation hasn't been there for us as children, for us to understand that self-care and self-love are something that exists and is supposed to coexist hand in hand. But like love and marriage, you can't have one without the other. If one starts to lack, you having the presence of another really does no good. So then on the flip side, you might have, like I said, people are able to take care of themselves. But then it's because they're taking care of themselves from the intention of trying to prove or to quote unquote keep on their hate. I've seen people
We gonna get counseled.
they're doing so much to improve themselves, their health and things of that nature. But it's not because they actually love themselves, it's because they want to prove their haters wrong. Instead of them actually trying to love themselves. So this thing, self-care and self-love, they have to work hand in hand. It has to be intersectional. It has to be integrated and implemented at the same time, which is extremely difficult to do because a lot of people don't realize that those two things are not exactly the same. They're just slightly different enough that you have to make sure that you have intentionality, which is the love that drives the action, which is the self-care. And like I said, it's just something that I wasn't even aware of because I knew I had a firm understanding of self-love. I knew how to love myself, but I did not know how to take care of myself, actually holistically take care of myself. So what I've experienced is piecemeal progress in different areas of my life. There's some times in my life where I've been able to focus on my growth and development as far as mentally. There's some times where I've been able to focus on growth and development physically, and as far as my health, prioritizing that, my nutrition. There's some times where I've been able to do it financially, spiritually, but me being able to do all of those things at the same time, like Don was saying, women are not being given those tools. We're young women. I'm not even going to say, I'm not going to make this out to be a gender thing. We're not being given those tools as children. Because a lot of us are coming from households where there's already so much dysfunction. Our parents are in a state of lack. Like Miss Terry, Nicole Terry said, you can't teach what you don't know.
You can't.
You can't give to a child what has to be given to you. And a lot of times what happens is people are becoming parents before they have the skills to pass on to their children. And so like
we get
Warren said, the only thing that's being passed on in most cases are trauma.
That's it.
Shit.
I just know for me, the major thing that made me really start to prioritize my mental health was me realizing that as a parent, the last thing I want to do is give to my child what was given to me in the negative side. Even with her being my mother, like you were saying,
Yes.
oh my God, you have touched my heart, my soul. I recognize a lot of what you were saying when you're manic, you feel like Superwoman.
Yes.
My mom exhibited those same behaviors. My mom was the best mom at times, but then there were times where she was just like mommy dearest. And so as a result of that, I and my sister, my siblings, we ended up enduring physical abuse because my mom's mental health wasn't in a space where she knew how to manage the highs and the lows.
Yeah.
And so when you're frustrated and you don't know how to manage the highs and the lows, and your children aren't listening to you, and you don't know not to take your children not listening to you personally, you think that you're supposed to beat a child, spoil the child. You think that the way that we're supposed to discipline children is physically, because that's what was done to you, because that's a remnant of slavery, because people don't know how to communicate and realize that we can reach children without actually having to put our hands on them all the time.
Thank you.
The last resort thing if that's what you believe, and it has to be within boundaries of not going too extreme. But I didn't get that because my mama wasn't given that when she was younger, and so she reenacted the traumas that had been given to her. She was not able to not give that to me. You know what I'm saying? And so I became aware that those things wasn't normal. I remember sitting in the cafeteria, and maybe I think it might have been like the 8th grade. And I was a social person, meaning like I liked people, but I also was taught not to cut up in school. So I was very selective in my interactions with my classmates. But we were at lunch, and we were talking about, getting beatings. I'm saying? It's their fathers that's the disciplinary, and the white children are looking, like, what are y'all talking about? There's a disconnect there for them because they weren't experiencing that. And then I started laughing, and I'm like, y'all mama ever did this. So I started explaining the type of beatings I get. And after a while, nobody was agreeing with me. And that's when I realized, like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that my mom's doing, that's not normal.
Exactly.
Feedback.
I was being physically abused.
Yeah.
But because of that whole, what happens in my house, stays in my house, I received messages that made me also realize that my story was not my story to tell. The part of my story that overlapped was my mom's story that could cause my mom to get in trouble. I had to protect her.
There it is.
If I told parts of my story and I put my mom in jeopardy of getting in trouble, then I also put us in jeopardy of possibly being taken away from my mom. And I knew that my mom wasn't a really bad person as much as it was that she was going through a bad situation. Because I could tell that there was a difference in my mom. I knew that she wasn't always like that. And that was one of the things I also did not want to tell her because it wasn't always like this.
Right.
So fast forward to, like I said, I've endured abuse, but it wasn't all the time. So you learn to cope with it. You just hope that you can be good enough to not make her upset, or if she's already upset, that I can be good enough to make her happy. And I became a people pleaser. I very seldom did anything for myself. I did not realize it. The way that I was doing stuff for myself was me thinking that if I could make other people happy, then I could lay a foundation to start to build upon, the good. So I tried my best to always come into the room and light it up. If nobody else was talking or facilitating good feelings, positive energy, that was what I was going to do because I needed that because that's not what I was normally receiving. So I was the person who was the life of the party, the little ray of sunshine and things of that nature. But it wasn't from a place of that's natural. It was from a place of I'm trying to protect myself. I don't know who's going to flip and try to hurt me. So if I do something make you laugh, make you happy, do what it is that I think you want to be done, then I can protect myself. And as a child, that's something that's very terrible for children to learn, that in order for them to be protected, they have to please, because that leads to abuse later on in different forms, especially later on when it comes to sexual abuse. And so that carried on into my adulthood with me kind of not really being promiscuous, but definitely allowing people who did not deserve me to have access to me in ways that they definitely should not have. And what that did was that period of time in my life where I allowed that to happen because I didn't know anything different, because I grew up thinking that I had to be a people pleaser in order to lay a foundation so that I can have peace, because like you, Queen, I wasn't used to having peace. I was used to instability. That's what I was used to. I was used to peace might come today, it might be gone tomorrow.
I don't know. I didn't know what peace is growing up. It was always something going on in the household. Always. I mean, I cannot remember a moment where it was peaceful. It was always something going on, especially once we moved out of the projects onto in North City. Then that's when it became more chaotic, more drama. That's when the guns, the shooting, the drugs, the DEA, the kick-ins, holding up the pastor at the front door, going to school half the time. And then when I did go, I don't even know how I passed to the next grade. The sexual abuse that went from the projects out to North City. It just came with me, like from 8 to 13. It's like, good God, it was always something going on. Always. So no, if you never grew up in peace, how do you mimic it in your own life as an adult?
You didn't have those behaviors modeled for you to even know how to, obtain or maintain. You can't obtain or maintain something that never was modeled for you.
Absolutely. You can't.
So, with all of that going on, it goes back to the question of self-care and self-love. How do you self-care? How do you learn how to take care of yourself when you've been just basically
That's
Because
it.
that element of actually taking care, like you just do the bare minimum to get by.
Right.
You don't put intentionality into the acts and deeds that you would do for yourself out of love. That care, that element of care is not there because you didn't have it modeled for you.
No.
And even if you did, it wasn't at a level where, like you said, that you could do it at a consistent rate because there were so many environmental factors that kept shifting things around. So whenever we don't have stability in our homes, we're undermining our children's development all the way up into and through their adulthood.
Always. And
All the way up into and through their adulthood.
And all that trauma and drama gets passed down. Literally. I can go, and now when looking at the big picture, I can go as far as back as my mother's husband, who was beaten as a child, who turned around and beat my mother. My mother turned around and beat us. And then my brother turned around and started beating his women. Not the Dion right here.
I'm sorry, King Newborn.
I'm sorry, King Newborn. Not King Newborn, but do you see the trail of pain that just kept getting passed on?
Right. But look, let's take it a step further and realize that even that idea of physically communicating your disdain and unapproval with someone because you don't know how to actually verbalize and communicate and be patient and give
Ooh.
Wow.
Emotional intelligence comes from the fact that at one point in time we were not even allowed to communicate with each other.
Ooh.
Literally, we were kept constantly ripped apart. Our families was ripped apart. We had to talk in code, right? And so everything becomes shortened in a bridge. But then we're being taught to be aggressive, slave owners. But then people keep trying to question and figure out why are Black people so aggressive. It's not a Black thing; it's a nature thing. But what's happening is it is definitely more apparent within the Black community because we've been subjugated to it for far too long under extreme circumstances. So how dare we think that it's not going to come out the way that it does?
Right.
How do we think that it's not going to show up the way that it does? And like Kendrick Lamar says in his song when he's talking, he says we do all these things and we call it culture. So a lot of our dysfunctions have now been passed on as quote unquote culture. So now we praise the very things that we should be analyzing long enough to see that it's dysfunction and trying to move towards a solution of removing these things from our quote unquote culture. We've made it the symbol of what being Black is.
Ooh.
When we talk about mental health, not dealing with your mental health, that's the Black thing to do. Because Black people, we don't do that. We don't do that. Go and talk to somebody else about our problems. What? No, what happens here stays here.
Yeah.
I need to go sit on somebody else's chair and tell them about XYZ for. Because culturally, Black people, we don't. No, that's a no.
Oh my God! And that is the reason why we are all walking. That's why we're still messed up. I'm sorry.
That's why we're still messed up.
That's it right there.
I'm closing out. I really want to hear from other people, but I pray that as we continue to have circles like this, and we open up and facilitate and shine our light and give other people permission to do the same.
Yes.
When we see people without a light, we're not afraid to lend them a light and to give them a light of our candle so that they can learn to understand that them receiving a light from our candle just means that they're going to be lit too. It's not going to take anything away from us to light somebody else's candle.
Absolutely not.
I pray that this really starts to help us to change, help us to heal. And sometimes we're going to have to do the repetition thing because I was listening earlier and we were talking about doing the same thing when we're supposed to be changing. But sometimes we're going to have to do the repetition thing, but it's a matter of us changing the intentions behind us doing the same action. It's about the intentionality too, because sometimes we can't get away from doing the thing that needs to be done. It's the thing that needs to be done being done from the right place. So I just wanted to share that. But yeah, when it comes to us as women, we are absolutely burdened with this task of trying to be nurturers for our families, when we have never really had nurturing, so we don't really know what we're doing. We're winging it.
Yes.
And we have to really and truly, our elders got to step up. And when they're not stepping up, we have to step to them and start asking them, can you teach me? Tell me what it is that you didn't learn that I need to know, because I don't want to keep going in circles. I don't want to be the Israelite 40 years wandering when I could have got it together by now, because we're holding up the progress of the next generation. Yeah.
She on a whole nother frequency.
She really is.
A whole nother frequency. Like, for real. Just listen to the certain words that she's strategically using. She on another level. Like, she on another level.
Amina.
And that's peace to you, Queen. Like, for real.
Yeah.
That's peace to you, Queen. I hope you can hear me, but you're on a whole nother level, man.
That's the voice of someone who's done the work. That's the voice of someone who's doing the work.
Yeah.
You're on a whole nother level.
And I just, like I said, I thank y'all for giving this platform. It's so needed. And I'm going to say this really quickly and I'm going to get off, because even with the passing of Kevin Samuels, I watched people bash this man and act like the message that he was given wasn't a message that needs to be said. His method of saying it is neither here nor there for me.
Right.
Because that message needed to be said. And a lot of women, black women, kept saying he was attacking black women. No, he was not. We were sensitive to what he was saying, because what he said, they wanted to hear in a sweeter way. That was supposed to come to you in the form of your big mama. But your big mama's not telling you these things because she didn't ever get it together. And she's bitter, and she's so busy thinking that life is supposed to be your teacher. So instead of her giving you a hand up and a hands up, she'd rather see you be down and kicked down and put down by these men and let life dog you out until you can figure it out for yourself, because that's what she had to do. We have got to cut this out.
Man.
And so that's the other part of the mental health thing. Like Ms. Nicole Terry was saying, share your story. Share your story, because somebody else is the blueprint for them.
It is.
It doesn't make sense for everybody to have to keep falling in the same trap, breaking up bones, for us to all keep ending up in the emergency room saying, oh yeah, that hole got you too. That hole too, man. Oh, let me tell you about the time I'm feeling that hole. No. Stop trying to bind it after the fact. Let's start healing and helping to prevent that from happening. Like, there's no way for us to bond with each other instead of trauma bonding. But yeah, I say that and I'm getting off because I want to hear from the rest of y'all.
Okay. Go ahead. Thank you for calling in. Not once, but twice, baby. We really appreciate it. Lord have mercy. Oh my God.
Y'all are spitting tonight. Y'all are spitting.
Dude. She said, let's get with our elders and find out what the hell is going on. What did you not learn? I can't go to my mother because my mother is no longer here with me.
But Ivy does make a point, though.
Yeah, I hate to say this, but Amina, our elders from the boomer generation can teach us how to heal. They won't heal themselves. We got to break our own generational, from here.
But I understand what she's saying. There are some.
I understand both sides. I understand both sides.
Both
I
sides
understand both sides. You know, and a lot of us that grew up in poverty areas, that lack of money. Did he freeze again?
Oh dang! I just realized that. Yeah, he did.
Oh my God. Let me take him out. He'll be back. Oh my God. Let me go ahead and minimize this. There he is. Okay, we're coming up on an hour and 45 minutes. Your secrets are dangerous. They keep others involved, locked up.
We still got another week, don't we? We still got one more week.
One more week. We are talking about mental health and our children. I came across a video of a lady who on TikTok, she was saying how her 9-10-year-old son a couple months back wanted to kill himself. You know, so it is hitting our children early. If we don't get our mental health together now, it definitely is going to affect our children, and then it's going to affect their children as well. It's just passed down generational curses that we all have an opportunity to break right here, right now. A lot of us, including myself, walked around here for years in denial of how I truly was. Oof. Yeah, yes, do mental health in a black family. What do you gentlemen think?
I'm with
Yeah,
it. I'm with
let's go for it.
whatever the vibe. It's as long as
We
it's
can do
mental
that.
health. Yeah.
It's meant, yeah, everything we've doing this month. Oh, where did my brother keep going? Everything that we have done this month has been geared towards mental health, which is one of those things that people don't talk about. It is very taboo in our community. It is swept under the rug, or it's glazed over as, oh, she's just crazy, or oh, he's just crazy. When there's an underlying mental illness there due to trauma that has been experienced at an early age. When I talked to my therapist and I told him about my abuse, he told me and blew my mind. He said, at that age, when it happened to you, that's the age you started lying to yourself to make sense of what was going on. So it was naturally for me to be in denial of all the
Defense
shit that
mechanism. The defense mechanism. Yeah.
honey, get you a therapist. If you feel like your emotions is out of whack, get on some medicine, calm your ass down, work through your emotions, get it in check. Um, write
Connect
about it.
with the
Write about it.
sisterhood.
Yeah.
Connect with the sisterhood.
Oh, I and get you supportive people. I
Mhm.
have my people. I have John. I have King Newborn. I have Tanner. I have Robin. I have Keith. I have good 5 people I can call on. Hey, what's going on? Talk to me. You know, you have to have supportive people on this journey. You don't want to do it by yourself. You need someone in your corner that supports you. You really do. What's up? We can't hear you. We,
Yeah.
damn it. Other cultures understand the importance of counseling. It's taboo to the Black community. All the way back to slavery, we silently went through the trauma caused and didn't speak on. Yeah, yeah. So we're doing mental health in the Black family next week. That's what we're going to focus on. Mental health and the Black family. You want me to take you out and bring you back in, King Newborn? Okay. All right. Well, does anybody have anything they want to add before we shut it down? Let me see. Yes, you do. It's hard trying to do it alone. Yeah, do not do it alone. The day I committed myself, I was on the phone with John. I was in the parking lot. I did not want to get out that car.
I remember. Yeah.
I did not want to get out that car, but when I went into that hospital, I told them, I'm not leaving here until y'all give me something. I promise you, I'm not leaving. She just looked at me. I said, I'm not leaving here until y'all give me something. I need something. I was rapid cycling. 1 minute I was okay. The next minute I was not okay. And when you are bipolar disorder and you hit that depressive stage, it's literally a slow decline. You know, you look around, and Renee, I'm so proud of you for sharing your diagnosis.
Mhm.
Yeah, you know you can say that, right? You know you can.
He couldn't.
Oh,
His
oh,
volume.
he's telling me to say it. There's a difference. Yes, people in support of mine with no judgment. Yeah. Okay, I'm calling in. Come on, Nicole. Call on in, honey. What's the number? 832-318-6966. Call on in, honey. You have no oh my God. She said, I'm proud of you for sharing your diagnosis. You have no idea how proud. All right. Miss Miss Nicole.
Yes, sister, I love you. I love you. I'm finna give y'all this little nugget I realized.
Okay.
When we go back, as you just mentioned it, so this is for you. When you fall back into that depression stage, pay attention to that emotion.
Okay.
Because all that is something, a trauma that you have yet to deal with.
Confront.
Oh my God.
Confront it.
That's all it is. I'm telling you, these 2 years have been a blessing to me. I had nobody. I was literally alone. I was by myself with 3 girls. I had to do something. I had to figure it out. And I realized every time I felt not quite myself, I was also thinking about something that had happened to me. And I keep putting it back on myself that I started to become a victim. Instead of the victor, I was a victim. Because whatever it was that was causing me to feel that way, I didn't want to call it out. You have to call it out. I said it in the text. Jesus created the world with his speech.
Okay.
So with that is, you have to call that thing out in order for you to move past it. That's why counseling is needed. Talking is needed. Speaking to someone who, one, do not have a biased opinion, or they putting their self in what you're feeling. Can't nobody tell you how you feel and why you feel that way. You that's how you feel.
Right.
So listen and give guidance on what they're going through, not what you think should happen.
Okay.
No, because they're not there. They're not there. We're not there. So we need some help. I realized, that's why I said I realized what I was going through was for somebody else. For somebody I met in Kuwait 4 years ago in passing. She was going to Kuwait. I was coming home. I spent 3 days with her. Didn't speak much. In December, I seen a TikTok, and I just looked at her face. Because I went through it, I could see the hurt. Oh. Because it was familiar to me because I was there. I told her, I sent her a message. I didn't need to know what was going on.
Right.
I said, I see something in your eyes, and I'm praying for your strength to get through this. She called me and told me that she's going through a divorce and she's going crazy. I said, no, you're not. You're not going crazy. She said, no, I feel this way 1 minute, this way. Oh, I said, okay. And you're going to feel it again. And you're going to feel it again. And I called out all the emotions I felt during the first year of finding out about what was going on in my marriage. I called out she said, sis, I have so many people around me, but this is the first day I got understanding of what's going on with me. Wow. Because they haven't gone through it, they can't give me the advice on how to get out of it.
Right.
So because I told her, okay, this is the emotion, you can feel this one, and it's going to repeat. She said, sis, it already have, and I thought I was going crazy. I said, no, you're going through.
There it is. That's it.
Keep feeling it.
Right.
It's normal. Feel what you're feeling.
Right.
Feel what you're feeling, but don't stay in that emotion.
Right. That's it.
And move on.
Feel it and let it go.
Stay in there. You have to feel it. You have to. You have to feel it. But then you have to get up and move.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if you don't, that's why you feel like you're going crazy. Because you still standing in a place of hurt, in a place of chaos. You're still standing there. So chaos is going all around you because you won't step away.
That's it. Feel it. Feel your emotions and let it go.
You're going to stand there when you hear, you're going to stand there and hear gunshots. You see this man shooting a gun, you just going to stand there in it?
Right.
Or are you going to move out of harm's way?
Absolutely.
It's
feel
the
what
same
you feel,
with our
but do not stay
emotions.
there. Yeah.
You have to feel your emotions because that's human. That's a human response to pain. You have to feel it, and again, you have to move on.
Absolutely.
Don't stay in your place. Check what it is that's causing you to go back to those depressive states. I'm going to tell you this. I haven't took medicine in 2 years. I haven't. It helped me, but in my mind, I did not want to be dependent because you know why? As soon as you don't take it and you feel like you acting out, you have not given yourself a crutch. Instead of working through what it is that you're feeling. Yes, it helps in the beginning to help you decompartmentalize all the stuff that you're going through.
Right.
You stuck there. So once you realize the things that have you in that place, that is when you deal with those things. So in your head, you don't continue to say, I need this medication to feel right. Because guess what? You're going to need that medication to feel right.
All right, Miss.
And I'm going to tell you this, that you better stop. You change your speech. Change your speech. Your words are powerful. The things that come out your mouth is life. Life and death is in the...
Thank you.
The tongue. Change your speech.
Yes, ma'am.
I love you. I want to hear. Next time I get on this line, I need to hear you speaking different.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm holding you accountable because I want you to move and I want you to hear too. Let it go.
Yeah, Boris, my drop.
Let it go for everybody around you, the ones that love you and don't know how to deal with you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
I love
ma'am.
y'all.
I love you too.
Y'all. Be blessed.
Yes, thank
let's
you.
Heal, y'all.
Yeah, let's heal. All right. Oh my God. Hold on. It's coming up. King Newborn had to go ahead and get on up out of here. It's coming up on almost 2 hours. Like literally. Tonight was amazing. We still got like multiple people in the room right now. I'm gonna have to go ahead and shut it down. We will be back next week to do mental health and Black family. I want to thank everyone who has commented, who has called. Amazing. Yes, Tanner, Amina, Nicole. Thank you for calling, sharing, especially Miss Nicole. She shared her story. Amazing, resilient. Someone watched this tonight and was inspired. We were all inspired by you all's story. It was comfortable. It was a safe space for you to share. Hey, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
Yes. Good night, everyone. Amazing. Yes, it was. You got anything you want to say, bruh?
Ooh, you guys are all flowers. And sometimes when that flower is dying, you need to uproot it and place it in a more hospitable, supportive environment to properly restore itself. Recognize when you need to be in that environment, Queens.
Yes. With that being said, as y'all would say, what? Salute.
Salute.
Salute.